Welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. We got Carter Dudley Jr. here, Raymond Lyons. It's the first game of the second, the last half of the season, coming out of All-Star break. Washington hosted the Knicks tonight. As you guys can see, they're both in Capital One. Julius Randle exploded for 46 points. Knicks beat the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma scored on him in the first half, did the year too small thing, and nothing was the same after that for Julius Randle. He turned all the way the hell up. And, for Washington, I think they split the series 1-1 with the Knicks going into this game. As of right now, they're down 2-1. But Cardell, we'll start with you there, Ray. Just your thoughts on the first game out of the All-Star break for Washington.
Yeah, I mean they got off to a hot start, man. But for me, that was fool's gold. Porzingis was hitting threes every 3-pointer he took, and they got off to a big lead. And for me, like I said, it's fool's gold because they're not going to be able to maintain that type of shooting from 3-point range for the rest of the game. But when you look up, the Knicks were actually good too. They were hitting shots at an efficient rate, and then Julius Randle woke up. They really couldn't do nothing. He was hitting threes all over the place, and on top of that, he's doing his usual "I'm gonna bully you to the basket" scoring side. And then everything fed off him, man. He was getting his going. Mitchell Robinson was getting the easy shots, man. Josh Hart quickly and all those guys contributing. And this is a game where Jalen Brunson didn't even shoot well. You know what I mean? And because they couldn't do nothing with Julius Randle, they were able to not only walk the Wizards down, but once they got the lead, the Knicks defense sustained and held up, and the Wizards couldn't really come back. And all in all, man, the Knicks just played harder and smarter, especially down the stretch. And I'm talking about the little things. They out-rebounded the Wizards 43-34. They had 9 steals. All that cushion with Porzingis would dribble handoff and nobody would really be up in his airspace. That didn't happen tonight. There were guards up in his airspace. There were other guards trying to rotate over, picking at the ball. The bigs were up on him, with the exception of Hartenstein. I don't know what he was. Hartenstein on Porzingis. I don't know what he was on, but that's the reason why Porzingis got off. Like Porzingis, what he had, 19 in the first quarter? Well into the third quarter, he still had 19. And well into the third quarter, Bill was in single digits. That tells you that the Knicks defense was on point. And you can see the addition just up close and personal. You can see the addition of not just Jalen Brunson, just having a true point guard to orchestrate things, make sure guys get shots where they need to get shots and when they need to get shots. You also saw Josh Hart in the points that he had with his defense, man. I don't think people understand how versatile of a defender he is at 6'4", but he's about 210, 215, and athletic or whatnot. He can guard 1 through. He literally was guarding 1 through 5 out here. You know what I mean? And that's an asset where when you switch, you're not losing nothing. All Porzingis can really do is just shoot over him. You know what I'm saying? And he's shooting over him in an uncomfortable spot, man. So points in the paint, Knicks by a mile, 58-32. And that's with Julius Randle cooking them from the outside. So that just tells you that the Wizards defense, while they play better defense than what we're accustomed to seeing, it's still not at the level good enough, especially for the second half of the season, to pull out wins. Because now it's playoff mode. You saw that with and I'm pretty sure Ray vouched for it. You saw it out here tonight. Like the intensity was playoff mode. Like they weren't playing around. Think about it. When the last time you see Porzingis down on the ground for a loose ball? See what I'm saying? Like guys were getting after it. They know what time it is. It's only 20. Well, after tonight, 22 games left. So guys trying to get home court if you already in the sand, like up there in the top 8, and if you're in the play-in or whatever, you trying to make sure you stay in the play-in or possibly move up. You know what I mean? So every game is urgent, and that's what you saw, man. But all in all, man, look, the Wizards could have had this game if they just calm down, play smarter, and match what the Knicks were putting out intensity-wise and energy-wise. But they didn't, and that's why they ultimately lost.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's the same old. Their decision making. Like Ardell said, man, that hot start, it'll do you in. It's just like they shot themselves to a 20-point lead. They shot themselves right back out the game. At one point, they was 11 for 16 from 3. They finished the game 19 to 44. Like, I mean, at some point, you got to understand there's going to be some regression to the mean, and you got to figure out a way to still put points on the board without just depending on every 3-pointer you take going to the basket. And yeah, they just leaned on it too much, given their hot start. And yeah, they just didn't explore other ways to be effective offensively. And they just kept hunting for threes, and it came back and bit them in the ass. The Knicks, they just slowly chipped away, and with Randall starting to get going, it made things that much easier for him. I wasn't mad at the start for the Wizards. Most of the threes was quality looks, and they was making them, but you're not going to shoot that well for an entire game. And the Knicks understood that, because I mean, what eventually happened, they cooled off and Knicks were able to get back in the game. Or if it just so happened to be that type of night for the Wizards and they did shoot that well for the entire game, you're going to lose anyway. So either way, I mean, you just got to weather the storm. Again, the Knicks did that wonderfully. Jalen Brunson, he didn't have his best shooting night, but he controlled the game as he does on a nightly basis, man. And yeah, just when you got somebody that's that sure-handed on the other side, and with how erratic the Wizards play, those two things don't line up in the Wizards' favor. And yeah, the Knicks in the second half just locked in. I mean, I knew it was trouble when they went into the half down 4 after being down 20. Then all the work that the Wizards did was erased before they went into the locker room. So and then in the second half, they was going to have to reestablish themselves again. But at that point, Randall was on go mode, and and the things just kind of got away from the Wizards. So yeah, man, another winnable game, but it is what it is at this point. If they want to do anything postseason related, they got to clean this type of stuff up. But I mean, with 22 games left, they pretty much are who they are at this point. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that just felt like I know you guys can hear the broadcast, obviously, because you guys were there. They talked to James Posey before they came out in the third quarter, and he said one of the things we've been talking about all year, essentially shot selection, directly led to transition. And those are the things you can't have bad shot selection coupled with turning the ball over. And tonight was an unusually high turnover night for the Wizards. Give them credit for the most part. They don't turn it over. They don't. What was it, like 18, 19 turnovers tonight? That's not typical.
17.
17.
And then they scored 23 points off those 17.
So 23 points off 17 turnovers, not counting the transition points off bad shots. You can't do both. It's hurting yourself even more. And
my fault. 19 turnovers. 19 turnovers off 23, and 23 points off 19 turnovers. My fault.
No, all good. Appreciate it. So 23 off 19. Then you factor in the bad shots, really the bad threes. And we saw them take bad threes all the way up until the very end. At times when you didn't have to take a three. They went to a three, and what happened? Shot out a cannon to the other end. And we know we've seen this story all year long. Go ahead.
Who shot those bad threes?
Oh man, Clutch Kuz. Hey, Clutch Kuz. Clutch Kuz.
Thank you.
Hey.
See, I don't even want to put that on the rest of the team. The rest of the team was efficient. Bill was 1 for 4, but he controlled himself. There's one dude taking on hero threes trying to match Julius.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
He the one that lit the fire under Julius. Julius got going and then couldn't cut the man's water off. Then, like you said, try to match him. Man, he's on fire. You can't it's too late. And then like Ray, like you said, even though the Knicks were down 4, it felt like they went into the halftime with the momentum, which was evident as they started the third quarter on an 8-0 run. But again, tough loss. Like Carter, I think you said, what is it, 23, 22 games left in the regular season right now?
22.
22.
Here's the wild part. You weren't here when they did a halftime interview. It was cool. And McPeak asked them, what went wrong in the first half? And what can you do in the second half? He was like, slow down Julius Randle. He's kicking our butt right about now. So, but we slow him down, we can win this game. So they knew going into that, they knew what it was, including him to get his matchup. and then did nothing. And then the first play of the game, Julius Randle 3. That's when like, yeah, it's a wrap. First play of the game in the second half.
You felt it. I think the three of us knew. You two guys felt it because you were there. I'm just sitting back here typing. I'm just like, oh yeah, I've seen this story before. No one's about to slow down Julius Randle. Like he had it going from deep, and we all know where he makes his hay at is in the paint. So it just raised all types of problems. And but again, player of the game, shocker. I could just say Julius Randle out loud. We good. All right. X Factor. Am I allowed to say Emmanuel quickly and we keep it moving, or do you guys have other folks?
Nah, just because he scored the most. That's actually tough. There's a lot of dudes like. I'm serious.
Because between him,
I'm gonna go with Josh Hart. I'm gonna go with Josh Hart defensively.
Yep.
Because as much as Randle was going on, they don't get stopped. It don't matter. With the lead that the Wizards have built at first, but he was all over the place. He was what Bill shoot. So Bill shot 6 for 14, but he got on late. For most of the game, he kept Bill in check, and he helped hold Porzingis to 19 for damn near the next 2 quarters. After he dropped 19 in the first quarter, or close to it in the first quarter. His defense was all out of this world because he was everywhere. He was everywhere, man. So and then on top of that, he had 5 points. He didn't score that much. He was 2 for 6 though. So he didn't shoot a lot. He had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. You know what I'm saying? And 27 minutes. So you bring that defense and that all-around production off the bench on the night where Brunson was off.
Not to mention the countless hustle plays on offensive end. There's a couple possessions where they had offensive rebounds, long offensive rebounds. He was the one that kept it from being transition opportunities for Washington. He was beating their guards at the long boards. Right?
Right.
Yeah. I go with Josh Hart. I mean, it was legit three contenders for this, but yeah, like I said, man, if you're not getting stops, then who knows how this game turns out. So especially down the stretch when there was a back and forth, and the Wizards, even after the Knicks came out with that 8-0 run, the Wizards responded with a run of their own. But yeah, and the Knicks had to go back to work, and yeah, Josh Hart's defense was a big part of that.
All right, we'll get some of these comments real quick before we get out. As always, appreciate all of you guys tuning in, and obviously you all that comment on a regular basis. We're gonna start with Area 11T. Solid 3 was there, and they dominated the boards. Denny with the most boards with only 7 says something.
I mean, yeah, that's the criticism we've had of Porzingis all season. He's 7'3", he's mobile. We know he's not bulky, but man, it's about 1-2. Do you want to get the board or not? Like you said, with 6 rebounds, he almost matched them, but they need Porzingis getting 10 plus, man. It's no getting around. Like he could literally win games just rebounding the ball because those would be extra possessions. And the Wizards do have spurts where they will bomb your ass for 3. It's not like they're a terrible 3-point shooting team. It's just that when they get cold, they keep trying to they have shooter's memory on steroids. Like, I'm just the next one. It's the next one. It's the next one. Like, bro, you done missed 5 in a row, dog. Let's go somewhere. Let's go on the block, mid range, backdoor, lob play, something else, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they get in trouble at, and they shoot themselves out of games. So for sure, man, he gotta hit the balls. But it's not just him. Gafford, 12 minutes. I don't know if he got banged up or whatever happened, or when Julius Randle was going off and he was getting some wide open shots, and West Side Patience just said the hell with it. Ran thin. But yeah, those guys, it gotta be about commitment. Those guys gotta go in there and get crash the boards to stop watching and stop being at times soft. It's no other way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a theme for the comments tonight. Them on the glass or in the paint as a whole. Another game slipped away from our Biggie Steve. Air 11T said the Knicks just started playing like they wanted it more in the second half. Hey, this time of year, that kind of matters. Just throw that out there,
They did.
Wizards making Randall look like Shaq.
Shaq wasn't shooting those threes. He looking like the Black Nowitzki out here, man. That one shot, the left hand runner or behind the backboard, he made that. I'm like, oh Lord, he going for 50. And Ray tell you, I'm like, yeah, he going for 50. That's one of those shots where like, yo, he on. Like, y'all. And then they waited late. And now I know somebody gonna get to the coaching. They waited extremely late to throw traps at him. I mean, like real late, like last 2 or 3 minutes of the game. I'd have had traps on him when he started going off the foot. When you make about 3 or 4 in a row, trap. We're gonna get that under control right now.
Actually, we might break a record. There are no coach comments yet tonight.
You just jinxed it. Now it's about to be.
Hey man, it's what I do. Wizards are having too much trouble with true centers in the NBA. Centers that play the Wizards average 30 plus. It's not good when we have Gaff and KP. KP's playing a little too soft. I mean, baby powder soft. Look, man, it's a theme of the night. But yeah, it's not a good look. We've had that you know what game this year when Denver missed by a point of that game, right? When they almost had 100 points in the paint. So we know that they have an issue at times. And that was the difference, right? It felt like New York's guards, whoever, got in the paint whenever they wanted. Whether they score or kick out or what have you, but they got 2 feet in the paint all night long. Everyone did. Please don't get me started how many second shot opportunities and why I got those offensive rebounds. Yeah, and some of those shot opportunities that were long rebounds. So guards, where are you? I know the bigs were going through it tonight, but Cardell, you mentioned Josh Hart. Felt like he had like 3 of them tonight. Just 2. Yeah, 2 of them tonight, and they were important, especially in the down the stretch. 43 to our 34 rebounds, 12 offensive to our 3 offensive. So many second shot opportunities for sure. But again, that's you have to want to go down there and do that. Everyone does it.
Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein. Mitchell Robinson had 4 offensive rebounds, and Hartenstein had 3.
3 offensive. Are you kidding me? We have 2 7-footers. You have 1 7-footer. That said, 3 offensive rebounds is still kind of you would like more than that. If y'all have no final words, we're gonna call this a night. Obviously, we'll see you guys Sunday. I think they're taking on the Bulls, and it's like an afternoon. It's a matinee game on Sunday. I think it's 3:30 start time. So we'll see you guys then in the playback room. Y'all have a great night. Hold on, we got one before the buzzer. Like, how does a backup center have more rebounds than any of our starters? It's a great way to end the night. We don't have the answer for you. Hopefully they clean that up because you got who's over there in Chicago? What you got? Vooch?
Vooch.
Yeah. Another very strong person. So we'll see how that goes.